I think I need to turn that light off real quick. What's up, Tyler? I didn't realize when I hit the button, it starts automatically immediately. So you guys got to see me be not knowing what I'm doing. Anyways, I don't know. How's the lighting, guys? I thought the light above was too much. Now I feel like I'm in a cave. What do you guys think? Light? Good lighting? All right. Best if you can get the light behind your camera. Well, that's going to have to work for tonight. Oh, that's broken. Hopefully you guys can see me. I need to get better at this, but tonight I got a little unboxing from American Legacy that I wanted to share with everybody. All right. Hello, Hellabass. Tyler's in here. Michael. Brendan. Don't see no Canadians yet. Awesome stream, guys. That was a lot of fun. Jermaine, welcome. So what's really cool about this order is, most of you know, American Legacy has an elite membership. Get you free shipping on any order, kind of like Omnia. They also do special promotions, and even if they're doing big sales on their website, they'll usually open the sale up 24 hours or so to the elite members. And because I'm an elite member, I had a total of this total was $107, but because I bought a Dobbin Draw on one of their specials, plus my elite membership where I get money back, my total was $2.81. So if you do buy a lot of tackle, some of the memberships like American Legacy, Omni, those are actually kind of worth it. Hell, that particular purchase, I had bought the 5.6, I think it's 5.6, the BFS rod, the Sierra, and then I paired that with the Shimano Corrado BFS. So, wow, this is really hard to watch everything go on. What's up, Adam Tubbard? I'm gonna have to, whatever. I'm going to be. All right, Ella. Can't be right all the time, right? Anyways, I'm just gonna dig into this box and see what we got going on. I do have to give a shout out to Adam Mira. A lot of this, or some of these baits, were recommendations of his for me to try out, and that's where we're at. Frank, I don't need a whiteboard. I have control. I could just ban people. All right. So the first thing is just a scrounger. I don't know that glare, but anyway, get better. So I'm going to try putting a couple different plastics on this, give it a shot. I've been trying a lot of different techniques lately, and that was one thing that Adam recommended I give a shot. Oh, real quick, Frank, I made sure my camera angle was wide so you could get the rest of the see the rest of the characters. This used to be my kids' playroom when they were younger. So I know Frank was very interested in that the other night. So next thing I got is, if some of you guys saw my Instagram, live the other night, I bought a bunch of I'm thinking the Kitech finesse ball head jigs in 1/16th. And 220 subscribers. Thanks, Hellbass. I really appreciate that. And one of the things that I wanted to try on throwing them was these Little Troopers by Berkeley in the power bait scent. So I picked up the black powder, and then I also got watermelon copper orange red. I figure that could work as a bluegill sunfish type pattern on some of those. Frank, I'm glad I could help you out. I got a random Beast Coast sticker. Did not order that. Oh, I forgot. I ordered them also in pearl black hologram. Think that's going to go really good for some of the clear waters I fish, which isn't much. Everything down here is always it's always muddy or murky or something. It's how the alligators get so easily. All right. So I've thrown a lot of baby brush hogs and things like that. So I just wanted to give the baby destroyer, which to me is a very similar bait. Wanted to give that a try. Probably Texas rig it. You know, my burn counts until it figures that out. I wanted to give these a try, just a different. They're a little bit different. Maybe they're not like, to me, they remind me of a brush hog. Somebody in there will correct me and tell me they're not the same. And but I gave those a try. Let's see what else. So I picked up a couple more chatterbait minis, or mini max, excuse me. I was going to get these in the micro, but after doing a little bit more researching, I found these are just a little bit better. Not only do they come in a little bit bigger sizes like people were wanting, but I guess the blade's a little bit different. The way the skirt and everything. So I want Hella Clash. I went ahead and got these. These are for my BFS setup. Sorry, Hella, but it's a lot of fun to fish that. I got another one in white. Oh, I thought there was a lot more stuff in here. And then this was another suggestion from Adam, and I believe Jermaine just caught a fish on one of these not too long ago, which is the Ned Bomb. I went a little crazy on them. I got several colors. This is their grape soda. I don't know how you guys do these streams. This on the side is so distracting. But we got plutonium with green pumpkin core. Let me see if we turn that around, see if you guys can pick some of that color up. So I promise I'll get better with the lighting. We got Fishalicious. I feel like somebody like Frank works at Missiles doing these names. Just seems like the things that he would choose for names. And then I got Hillbilly Magic, a little bit darker. We got Purple Smoke Core. I use a lot of anything with purple, Junebug. I don't know. Purple just seems to be the color down here, at least in my area. And then we got Silver Flash. So definitely picked up a lot of different Ned bombs. Going to use them for trailers on the mini maxes. and probably Ned Rig and other things like that. Let me see if I can catch up with some of these. See if there's actually anything. Hey yo, how's it going, Adam? JP, thanks for coming. Frank, okay. This is insane how quickly this all comes up. Oh, I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to overrun you. Hack the stream. So, all right. That's right, Jermaine. You were throwing it on as a jig trailer, and that's one of the things I plan on using those for. On maybe some swim jigs, the ball head jigs, the mini maxes, and just see what works. Yeah, Brendan, it is purple is the deal down here. I went ahead and picked up a couple of Beast Coast Hustler jigs. This is their Stealth Midnight, which is all black. It looks like, and it has a little bit of red flake in it. And then their Thunder Shad. So I do have some clear waters, and the shads really the shad type colors seem to do really good there. Everywhere else, it's just either black and blue or green pumpkin, and it works. Junebug is overrated. I don't know. It seems to work pretty good for me. You didn't at all, Adam. I'm excited that you're on right now. This is wild and a fast chat. The mental juggle between your agenda and the comments can be tough. I don't really have an agenda. All I really want to do is show off my baits, talk a couple minutes if anybody's interested, show Frank my Disney characters on my wall, and of course, my Frank shirt. That's all I cared about doing tonight. Everything else is just gravy on top. But I have one more jig from them. This is called Dirtbag. Kind of like a bluegill pattern to me. A lot of blacks and browns, orange. Yeah, Brendan, I had it for a couple weeks now. I had a friend make it for me. So good luck on your YouTube journey, Adam. Time for bed. Lots of shit. Best life. All right, Hella. Good night. Thanks for coming over. Appreciate the support. I did a couple Instagram lives just for people that are new here. I have no real plans with this channel. I just want to have fun, hang out with. It's pretty much the same people in all the lives, no matter who the YouTuber is. And some of you have grown to be, I would say, my internet friends. And I just enjoy talking about fishing and showing off fishing stuff and picking people's brains. So I figured, why not do some lives? People want to watch it, they'll watch it. If they don't, they don't. Just pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I need to copyright this shirt. Oh, and I want to. So somebody, I don't know who it was. They saw one of my pictures on Instagram. I was posting a picture of the of a fish I caught for the Catch 22 tournament, and on my little nameplate it says Fish Tickler at the bottom, which I understand it's a unique name, but the story behind that basically, if many people know, I'm very active in Scouts. Both my sons are in Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and part of what I do as a leader is I help run some of their fishing events, and I help kids fish and stuff. Anyways, a few months back, I was at a camping weekend. There was a 16-year-old kid. He's never fished in his life. He kept bugging me all weekend. And about helping him finish his merit badge. I was like, okay. So finally, we had an opportunity, and this kid, it took him forever just to learn how to use the spinning reel to cast it. I kept it simple, threw a wacky rig on for him, and he ends up landing like a 6-pound bass as his very first catch. Pole's doubled over, he's freaking out, and smile ear to ear. And but anyways, after that successful catch, um, the somebody at the camp dubbed me the fish tickler, and it stuck. And then my troop was kind enough to buy me a name badge for my uniform, and so I ran with it. Yeah, that kid's broken. um that is his expectation for the rest of his life. He's definitely broken now. uh so anyways, last item in the box I want to go over real quick. So I bought this item. I've looked at it a couple times. I Yeah, JP. The wacky is the easiest thing, especially for anybody that's never thrown, because you can teach them basic methods, but they can't screw it up because most of the time they don't even know how to cast. So they have to just get that part down. So yeah, I always use the wacky rig. I try to buy the Yum Dingers in the big 50 count bags because they blow through plastic so quickly. But anyways, so I was looking at this item on American Legacies where I first saw it a few months ago. I watched a couple of YouTube videos. It was interesting, but I didn't think it was worth the $30, or I didn't see the value at $30 for me. But they clearanced it out to $5 and then 10% off. So I grabbed it, and this is called the Angler by Bullseye. So I got it, like I said, $5. And to my understanding, you put on your hat, whatever. It's got an app that goes into your phone, and as you're fishing, you can quickly just if you catch a fish, you can click it and it'll store your fish. You can double click it. You can set waypoints up. I just and I'll talk about this in a second, but thanks, Little Rich, and all the other riches, Hellbass, and for this subscription. But I wanted to give it a try. I figure, $5, I can't go wrong with it. I believe Fluke Master uses this, a couple other YouTubers. She's going to catch a 6-pounder on an ultralight. I'll have to rig up for her, I'll hook it and take a pic and throw. Frank, you should enjoy bringing a new fisher into the game and not get upset. I mean, I would love to have caught that fish, but that kid not only didn't know how to use a rod and reel, but he was using my personal rod and reel. And yeah. But back to the Bullseye. I figure $5. I can't go wrong. I just opened. I don't know how the app looks, but supposedly you can save right where you caught a fish. Wait. I guess it pulls data whenever you save it. It pulls data for the weather, the temperature, stuff like that. So it's kind of like I know Matthew does a fish journal, and that's my understanding. This is basically a digital fish journal that you don't have to write anything. You just click, and you're good to go. Um, so yeah, Daniel, that was kind of my idea, was to keep track as I was bank fishing, but also for the folks that aren't in our group chat, I got today. I picked up my new kayak. Very excited about that. I haven't even taken a picture yet. I literally got it from the shop, put it in the garage, and then had to go do dad stuff. So eventually I'll have a fish finder and all that on the kayak, but until then, I figure maybe this can be a little bit of a help. Especially as now I can explore bigger waters. I can go further down the rivers, and They make another one, which is really weird. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, uh, but they make one that attaches to your rod, and I didn't really understand it too much. I didn't pay attention, but I just can't imagine putting an electronic device on my rod and then pushing on my rod trying to store the information. This seemed like the way for me. Yes, Brendan. I did pick up a Bonafide today. I got I sorry, I gotta remember the SS-127. I had my heart set on a Old Town kayak pedal drive, and two things happened. A, my wife's like, "You got a bass boat, you got a canoe. Why do you need a kayak? We don't need to spend that, typical marital stuff that goes with it." She didn't see the value that I saw. Um, I got it. I think they call it Top Gun Gray, but it's gray. And I didn't really push the issue with the Old Town because as I was doing more research on it, I was building my facts, my flow charts, my PowerPoint presentations. I was ready to sell my wife on this idea. As I was gathering my talking points for the art for that, I decided that the Old Town wasn't going to be good for me, and the reason being, I live in Florida. We have a we have a lot of grass, a lot of vegetation under the water, and that prop, I just imagine constantly getting clogged up. I joined a couple Old Town groups, and that's what they said. A lot of people, some people were very annoyed by it. Some people like, oh, it's not that big a deal. You just got to pop out the thing and clear out the prop. And that's not something I wanted to mess with. I just want to go out and fish with minimal problems. I have enough problems as it is fishing with getting line stuck and alligators and turtles and all that stuff. So I started watching Chad Hoover. I texted Chad a couple times. He directed me to some videos, and that's where I landed on the Bonafide because a I think it's a little bit wider, but or at least it appears wider. So I felt like it was going to be way more stable when sitting or standing to do the cast. Also, I like the fact whoever did when they designed it, they had anglers 100% in mind. It just looks like to me, it's laid out the right way. Um, they put the yak tracks are already in place. Um, the bow storage can be opened either way, which is pretty convenient. So where you would normally load from the front, like if it's on a trailer, you can open it that way. And then when you want to access it from actually being in the boat, you can open it the other way. And the other thing, cool features is in the middle where most kayaks have like a little plastic area, storage bin. They have that as well, but it's 100%. You can take the whole thing out. They call it the pod, I believe. And that what a lot of guys do, that's where they mount their fish finder. It's designed, they'll put the battery inside, they'll mount the fish finder on top, transducer below it, and then when they're done fishing for the day, they pop out the whole thing, and it's all self-contained. Put it in your vehicle, put it in the garage, whatever, so it's safe. So I really thought that it just seems like the Bonafide overall was really thought out. I mean, underneath the seat, they built in a junk drawer. That's literally what they call it. It slides out. It's on a rail. I imagine myself, um, you're changing lures or something. You see a lot of guys. They have plastics all over their kayak and stuff. I feel like the junk drawer is where that all ends up for me. Plus, the seat was super comfortable, and the final thing that kind of sold me on it is down the road, if I so choose, it has been it can easily accept a bow mounted trolling motor. I know Ketchco or not Ketchco, Kitech is making a plate, a bow mount plate. There's another, I can't think of the company off the top of my head, but they've already make the plates that go right on. It's a bolt on, no drilling holes. Motor Guide came out with a kayak uh, trolling motor to go on that plate, and so that I have the availability if I ever want to do the upgrade like that. But yeah, so I am gonna eventually do a walk around on that. I'm hoping. I think the earliest I'm going to be able to get it on the water is going to be Sunday. Yes. Just I have a lot going on with family. Scouts, we're camping this weekend. So, but yeah, I'm excited about starting the kayak, fishing in the kayak. I fished in a kayak before, just your typical sun dolphin. Does the job, but the seats are so uncomfortable. So I'm looking forward to that. I got a couple more boxes that I'm going to. So I do have a box from Omnia I haven't opened yet, but I'm going to wait because I have a box coming from Tackle Warehouse. They're both kind of small boxes, so and the items kind of go together. So I'll do that, and then good luck. We're done for at last 3 weeks camping. Oh yes, no, my troop we camp all the way until May, and then summer camp. Then we take 2 months off. Anyways, so I do have a Tackle Warehouse order coming. I'm going to unbox, and then I don't know if any of you guys saw, but the Hookup Tackle just did a, I guess it was a President's Day sale. I didn't need anything. Got to talking to Matt, and then he was talking to Chris in the chat. One thing led to another, and I have a few JDM baits on the way now, and I'm pretty excited about them. And I'll definitely show you guys those when I get them. Bug baits, didn't you? Actually, I did. You're not wrong, Tyler. So any of you guys never that aren't in the group chat, I'm a big bug lure guy. I throw all the rebel, like the bumblebee or the bumblebug, crick hoppers, um, the grand ciglet, the nano ciglets, you name it. If it's a bug or it imitates a bug or a cicada or something, I either know about it or I've thrown it. Um, I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawn to them. They they work for me. I like top water fishing because most bug baits are obviously a top water style. The crawlers, I've been doing really well with the crawlers. I have the Jackal Micro Pompadour and been slaying on it. Uh, that's been a good one. The cicada, or excuse me, so Duo Realis makes their own version of the ciglet, and I showed them the other night. It looks like the Megabass. I think it has a better hookup ratio than the Megabass. The Megabass casts a lot better, but the cool thing about the Duo Realis, a feature that it has over the Grand Ciglet is they put skirt material. Let me just give me a second. Let me just grab it. I know it's right here. All right. See, all organized now with my Fuzzbee. But okay. So this is the Grand Ciglet for Megabass that you guys most people are familiar with. It casts like a bomb. It's awesome. And yeah, the vibration out of them are great. But I don't like this hook. I feel like I miss more fish than a traditional treble hook. So then I went and ordered the Duo Realis. I'm horrible at pronouncing anything, and I think this one does not cast as well. It definitely doesn't. The action is going to be a little bit better on the Megabass. I think it's negligible, um, and I think it just has to do with the overall wings are a little bit bigger on the Megabass. But the Duo does have the skirt material on the side, kind of like little legs or something. And what's really cool about it is the I've already lost these on a couple of them just from bites, getting them stuck, so on and so forth. You can actually open this up and replace it, which means you could there that would hurt. You could put custom colors in. Um, so yes, I I really like this bait. Um, and I'll just these are a couple more. These are the nano ciglets from Megabass. Uh, and then this one that looks like a bee. It's really weird when you feel it because it's fuzzy. I guess to be like a bee. I don't know why they would go to that length of detail, but I haven't had an opportunity to throw those yet. And then I'll only bore you with one more. This is the micro pompadour. So really into the bugs, really into the crawlers. This thing on a BFS setup will fly a mile. Um, I learned on all my bug baits, no matter which size I'm using or what, I get a lot of bites just by casting it, and I'll let it sit there for 20, 30 seconds, a long time, and give it just a little twitch. And with these wings out, and like I said, no matter which one of these it is, um, that's where I get a lot of my blow ups. Not even on the retrieve. So those are my ciglets and my bug baits. I have a lot of bugs, soft plastics. Too many to show right now. Maybe I'll do a whole bug lure um, video. Uh, they work. And I really have lately been doing mostly ultralight fishing and BFS fishing. I know they're basically the same. And I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, I get I don't catch the bigger fish, but I catch more fish. It's easy to do from the bank. I just recently transitioned to frog fishing, um, mostly because I can, and it drives Jermaine insane that I'm frog fishing in Florida in February and catching them. But yeah, bug bait the new Cinco. I don't want everybody to get bug baits, because then I'll have to switch back to the Cinco when it falls out. Adam, do you fish those mini bug crawlers? So JP, what I typically do is, like I said, I cast it out. I'll let it sit there. First thing is cast it out and just let it sit there until all the rings dissipate. Then I'll give it some little twitches here and there, like it is a bug on the thing. If that doesn't get a response, then yeah, I'll start just a straight retrieve in, and I'll vary the retrieve from time to time. I might pause it, give it a couple twitches, but typically, if I don't get hit, I just do a retrieve, and that'll usually provoke them enough. You just gotta. Every body of water down here for me is different because some of them are spring fed, some of them are attached to the Gulf, so there's a tidal or a tide in there. So it seems like every fish is different depending on what water I'm at and how they want me to retrieve it. Um, yeah, it seems you're right, Tyler. It seems like a bulk of the hits are right at the beginning of throwing that out. Uh, No, I don't ever regret the bombing of them out there, because I'm purposely throwing it somewhere that I feel that there's a fish, and I feel that I've gotten pretty comfortable with the ultralight BFS setups I have that I very rarely miss bites now. And I would say a bulk of the bites are on the Megabass Siglet, and I believe the only difference is the hook. It's got to be the hook. I wish it was a treble hook. I need the Duo Realis and the Megabass to make a baby and create a new cicada type bug that has a treble hook but flies like a Megabass and has the Duo Realis skirt material. All the space in between, and then myself to cover more water by starting closer in. I don't worry about that. I just, like I said, I bomb it out to the area I think it needs to go. Um, it just depends on the water where I'm at. I mean, some of my casts are obviously closer to the bank if I feel that's where the fish are, that's where the cover is, whatever it may be. Adam Leighton said he needed the jiggly cicadas I had in the pictures I posed in the group chat. If it's a bug, I have it, or I know about it, or I want to try it. Um, and I started out my bug topwater obsession with the Rebels, the crick hopper, like I mentioned, and everything. And then Matthew introduced to me this thing called JDM baits. And the Japanese, good night, Jermaine. Thanks for stopping by. Uh, they have insane baits and a lot of bug baits in different variations. So I've gone crazy on the hookup tackle. Uh, Good night, Mike. Appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully, it was somewhat entertaining. I don't know how we got onto the conversation of bug baits, but yeah, they work. Um, and the other baits, okay, I'll need to get an address sometime. No problem. Hit me up on Instagram, and we'll get that taken care of. But the other bait that I've been doing really well on, besides the crawlers and the bug top waters, is this Lucky Craft. If I can get it out without stabbing myself. And that's I know there's some Japanese name for it, but I call it my goldfish. You reel it slow, it'll wake. This is the floating version. That tail's got a lot of action in it. Reel a little bit faster, retrieve, and it goes down. Yeah, I know I knew it's a Lucky Craft. I just can't remember the name of the actual bait, but they smoke on this. They just eat it up. And sometimes, depending on how shallow the water is, I can see them coming out of cover for it. Does have a little bit of a rattle. So all these baits I showed you this evening, I owe the thank you to Matthew, because he's the one that introduced me to all of them. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. The hookup tackle should sponsor Matthew, but at this point, he sold more baits for them than anybody. I haven't got it to fish this yet. This is the same one, only it's a sinking version, a little bit smaller. So I definitely want to try that. But I really just enjoy ultralight fishing, BFS fishing. I have all the setups for, crankbait, chatterbait, so on and so forth. But that's just what I enjoy. I only usually get to fish during the day while my kids are at school or something. So it's easier to throw that type of tackle and go. Get my tactical bait belt out. And then, yeah, so the mini one can wake. Or excuse me, JP. The floater is awake. And I believe I haven't fished the small one yet, but I believe if you retrieve it fast enough, you can pull it up to a wake. But I can't say that. Matt's going to get mad because I'm not supposed to show you guys all these baits, but here we are. So another bait that works really well, JP, is all tangled up. Okay. That was a hook. Is the J-Boy. And this is basically a small variation, in my opinion, of we all know what the big buds are, back in the day, the Heddon big buds, the Budweiser things. This is a very shrunk down version. You got your Colorado's on the back. So this is another one I get bit on a lot. It will, if you crank it fast enough, it will dive a little bit, about a foot under, gets those blades going. But if you fish it slow, this will wake as well. And I've been very successful on that. Wasn't supposed to show you that, guys, so don't tell Matt. Yeah, Brandon's right. That bait doesn't work. I always find Adam's line, it does not work. I've looked at that bait before and was super curious. Looks pretty cool for sure. Yeah, it'll get bit, JP, no doubt. And I just ordered. I don't have them sitting here, and I don't want to get up, but I did order the actual Heddon big buds. So I got one of those. I'll definitely try out. That's because you don't know they're only thinking are 3 ounce. Yeah. The J-Boys do work. I was skeptical when Matt suggested it. I'll tell you, if you guys ever want to have a fun, successful time and do well at fishing, contact Matt, give him a budget, and let him pick out a cart for you, and he will get you nothing but winners. That's what I did. Me and Matt, we would always talk about different baits, and he would always, send me links. And one day I was like, hey, if you got time, put me a cart together. I said X amount of dollars. And everything that I've tossed so far from there has been a winner. No doubt about it. And then Adam, the other Adam from our group, same thing. I had to blow through this credit with American Legacy Fishing. I was like, hey, put some stuff together. I went back and he gave me a cart and I picked up some of them. Things I would never on my own pick up a scrounger. Just it's not something that I would think to grab. So I have no problem sharing bait. I know a lot of YouTubers or fishermen in general, they want to keep everything secret, and I get that, especially if you're in the tournament scene. I'm more of I want to share everything I can, unless somebody specifically asks me not to. But we all live in different states where we all live or fish different waters, different times of the year. I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact. The only impact I could see anything if either a big angler or somebody like Debo, that has a huge, massive following, they could cause a outage of a bait, or they could cause a price rate inflation. I do see the potential of that, of somebody with a big enough audience causing something like that, not necessarily on purpose, but you tell 100,000 people that I caught a 6-pound bass on this bait, they're going to go buy it. And then once it sells out, everybody's going to turn to the secondary market. I mean, the one off the top of my head, that look at the Spro Rat. I know it's back in stock now, but same thing. You couldn't get them, and then we're on eBay. I saw them for some of them going for over $100, and now. But in general, I like to share. I think it's fun. I like different baits. I think we're all addicted to baits and tackle. See, yeah, yeah, you're right, Daniel. So when I first started bass fishing, like seriously, I fished all my life, but like I was always the worm minnow type guy. I started with I think where everybody started. I googled and there's Debo, um, and then that leads you down to other videos, some better than others, and everybody green pumpkin, green pumpkin. I think I bought my local Dick's out on green pumpkin everything. Very rarely do I throw green pumpkin. I throw June bug. I throw um, black and blue. Like I said, some shad colors, and then there's one color that's outside that. I don't know if I have it sitting here. Give me 1 second, guys. So I have a friend that I met through scouting, and he told me this is the only color I need in the state of Florida, and this is when I first started Texas rigging. This is all I used. It works. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to what most people say, but the only thing I can think of is the purple in it. But cotton candy chartreuse. This is the lizard. Give you guys see if you guys can see that color there. But we've gone fishing and gone through 2 or 3 packs of these in a day, catching 20, 30 bass. I but I've never watched a YouTube video where it says use cotton candy chartreuse. I don't know how he found that color, how he got on it, but it works. Um, and they work year round. And we travel a lot with the scouts. We go to Georgia, we go to the Carolinas, and we fish there, and they work. We've used, and it's something about this particular their formulation of the color because Bass Pro makes it, and we've used their lizards in that color. We got bit, but not like I don't know. That's like it's a weird bait. It works, and it's a weird color that I would never have bought if it wasn't recommended to me. Yeah, working in Arkansas, dude. I kill on those. Yeah. Um, pull out one, please. How is that different from grass candy? Okay, no problem, Tyler. Let's see if we can. I don't know if you can see that this well. I would say I'd say the main difference is it's got more pink in it. Um, and it's not as dark. I don't know if I don't know if you're able to see that color. And then the tail just goes into a green pepper chartreuse. Um, I hopefully I don't know if you guys can see that color. Uh, let me try to quit moving it around. There we go. Yeah, hopefully you can see that, Tyler. Um, yeah, it's cotton candy chartreuse. And the weird thing is, I believe the 6-inch lizard um, is the only one that they make the cotton candy chartreuse. They do make the Fat Albert, the finesse worm, and I think one or two others in the cotton candy color. Um, but this is the only one, the cotton candy chartreuse, because we wanted to use other plastics. We've tried to spike it on the end, thinking, okay, we'll mimic the chartreuse part of the tail. Um, and it's just this particular color. But to me, it's more pink than purple. I think that's where they get the cotton candy name. So I don't feel it's as dark as sprayed grass, Tyler. Hopefully that helped you out and you could see it. If not, they're usually in any Dick store. Um, it cranks. They've got them here at the Soul Tackle Shop. I mean, yes, Brandon, all of them. Brendan, send them all. Make that happen. Yeah, man. So I guess it's a little clear. Yeah, clear. That would have been a better way to describe it. And with some chartreuse in it, seems subtle on the camera, but I wonder how pronounced it is under the water. I don't know. It's pretty clear, especially on a sunny day. Sunny day in a clear lake, which I've fished these in before, or pond. It's it's I wouldn't say it disappears, but it does not stick out like a black and blue or something. Um, yeah, definitely check him out, Tyler. I, he gave them to me when we started fishing together, and he's the only person to this date has, that I've never been able to outfish. So, and that's all he throws. If they don't bite this, then then we switch over to a plum curly tail. That's the two baits. Well, excuse me, he carries three baits. The the lizard, curly tail plum, all zoom, and then the beetle spin. That's it. And he fishes if he's around, outfishes everybody every time, no matter what we do. Um, the worms, yeah, and June bug. FYI, if you don't already know, Land Big Fish is the absolute best place to get zoom baits, certain shape and colors you won't find anywhere. All right, I'll definitely have to check them out. Um, well, tackle usually in general is not cheap, Tyler. Um, but yeah, this definitely try these out. It consistently works, but it's this color because they also make the lizard in just the cotton candy, so the tail doesn't have that chartreuse in it, and it's not the same. And here's how we rig them. This is how he. I'm on their website. Why I saw the worm. Yeah, I believe they make a finesse worm. So most people will tell you quarter ounce, 1/8, depending on whatever you're doing. The way he taught me to rig these is we use a 4/0 EWG hook, standard T rig hook, and then we use a 1/32 uh, weight, and it's hard to cast on it. We, he's using uh 4,000 size reel just to get it out there because you don't have the weight. And I always asked him, I was like, well, the general consensus is use a little heavier weight, blah, 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 do this, do that. And he says, nope. He goes, A, you don't want the weight to disturb the water too much going in. And then he says, based on that, it's just enough flutter and slow enough as it goes down. I'm not going to argue with him because he taught me it and it works. And I've never changed that setup. And that's how I do it. They're starting to move up a little bit now. It's almost time for me to start trying them. I would too if I could, Brendan. Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. That's his secret bait that he gave me. And it's a 4/0 hook in red. I forgot to mention that. It's got to be red. I know Tyler likes red. And then 1/32 weight. JP, yes, we are running them unpegged. So the best place I have found, at least in my area. So if you guys are ever looking for 1/32 weights in a store, if you have a Rural King, for some reason they seem to keep them in stock. So that's all we use. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I don't know how he figured it out, but yeah, 1/32 unpegged. And I even tried to outfish him and buying the purple weights, 1/32 and things like that. Can never get them. What other secrets you got, Adam? Baits or callers under the radar or the you particularly have confidence in? Um, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that great of an angler to have secrets. Sorry. I would say, I think ultralight and BFS is definitely underrated. I think people look at it as either um, only catch a small fish or panfish, and 99% of my fish I catch bass. I am targeting them, so I know that is part of it. But I think finesse fishing is overlooked by some people. Um, but if I had to give secrets out or what I use that I'm super successful, um, the I'm thinking the Yumdinger in Junebug, wacky rigged. I've gotten 30, 40 fish on that in a day. Uh, I use a lot of the Z-Man minnows, 3-inch one on there. They make a finesse head that I use, and I'm trying to think of the color. It's mud. I don't want. It's not mud bug. Mud minnow. It's mud something. Mud shiner. It's your typical brown shad color. Been huge success on that. Um, and then the Rebel lures. I think they're looked at and they're looked down upon. And I know a lot of people use them for creek fishing, for creek chubs, smallmouth. Bass love them. You find that area, put them up there, they'll get them. Uh, so I just think people overlook finesse fishing. Everyone wants to power fish. They want to throw 10-inch glides. And yeah, I understand if you get a fish to hit on a glide that big, it's going to be a big fish. But I also don't want to throw a bait all day long and only get a couple of hits. I have thrown big baits just to make Brendan happy. I get a lot of followers. They just never seem to connect with it, but I'll eventually get around to catching one. I fished a similar ring. What type and pound test are you fishing with? So I keep it pretty standard. On most of my spinning reels, especially when I like 3,000, 4,000s, which are my kind of workhorse ones, I run uh 20 to 30 pound braid, just whatever I happen to find at the time. If I go down from there for like wacky rigs, if I'm throwing those 3-inch minnows, I'm usually on 15 pound. And then my medium light, ultralight rod is 10 pound. And then my BFS and ultralight is, I can't remember, it's 6 or 8 pound. Um, yeah, yeah, Brendan heard big bait. But yeah, I don't tie leaders. I don't mess with any of that. I run straight braid, and I haven't had too many issues with it yet. Unless it's super windy, but I think that's with good night, Brendan. Um, with anything, I'm dying. Yours perked up. Remember if you catch that fish on a big, I'll send you a wooden crank down in Junebug. Yeah, but I've tried the fluoro. I It's too frustrating for me, especially on spinning reel. The wind, everything. I was done with it. Um, and I have nothing but grass, sticks, alligators, everything down here. Braid just the way I go. Now, my friend, he's old school. He uses 30 pound mono for everything except for his shark fishing. Um, you want to talk about a tackle junkie? One day I'll see if I could ever talk him into coming on here. His name's Johnny, but he just bought 6 shark setups. The reels alone were like $2,000. The rods are like $1,200 a piece, and then I think it's like another $800 to $900 to put the line on them. That's a whole different world. I haven't had the opportunity to go shark fishing with him yet. Uh, that's kind of his new hobby. He goes up to the Panhandle a lot, or over on the Daytona side of Florida and Siesta Keys and stuff like that. And it's funny because they go out fishing for um, uh, stingrays first, and that's what they use for bait. And then depending, and this is how the rules are down here. So depending on what part of the coast he's on, or county or whatever he's fishing, they will either they'll use a kayak, and somebody has to kayak that thing a mile out to drop the bait for the sharks, or if it's allowed, they use drones, and then they'll drop the baits in the water like that. But it's weird because certain jurisdictions down here you can't use the drones, so that's a whole different level of fishing. And I mean, if I find it, he sent me a video not too long ago of 13-foot lemon shark, I think. I can't remember. I'd have to look, but yeah. And I was like, "What do you do with it once you get it on the thing?" He's like, "You take your picture and then throw it back." So, um, but I'm not much into saltwater fishing, anything. But anyways, I can't believe I talked an hour. That is insane. Anybody got anything else, or want me anything I can share with you? Um, I can show you a whole bunch of bug baits, but time flies when you're talking fishing. That's the truth, Daniel. No doubt about it. Everybody notice my new tan sunglasses from fishing. Well, you guys can't see it on camera. I got burnt real bad yesterday. My fault. I normally wear long sleeves, but I did not, and I am paying the price today. So I'm very excited about my hookup order. Not only because I want to show you guys, but the I want to fish it. So definitely going for that. And I should have had this prepared, but I didn't. Sorry about that, guys. Um, what do you think you'll throw most this year? If you could fast forward a year, what will be your bait of the year? I don't know. So I think my fishing is going to change this year, because now that I have a kayak and it changes my waterways, it changes my access to things. I feel like I'm gonna have to change that. Definitely gonna throw the things I'm comfortable with, the T rigs, the crawlers, bug baits, but being in different water, um, and actually, so most of the water in Florida is pretty shallow, believe it or not. We don't like I said, we don't have big gravel pits and dig outs and stuff. So we don't have the deeper waters in most places like you guys do up north. Um, so most of the water I fish in from the bank, I'm maybe on a good day 6 foot. But there are parts of the water, where if there's a spring, it may be 30 or 40 feet deep. Um, so I don't know. Definitely the bug baits. I definitely want to get better at shaky head this year. I've put a lot in that, and probably the chatter baits. Some formulation of those baits. Um, I want to throw. Then the JDM baits I got coming because they're very unique, or at least in my opinion, they're unique. So, but at the end of the day, if I'm getting nervous, I'm not going to catch something. This is always right there in my back pocket, no matter what it produces. So, but a couple things I wanted to show you. I think it was JP earlier when we were talking about the J Boy. These are my new head-ends. Well, new to me that I purchased. I got it in the. I got 3 of them. One of them's opened. These may stay in package, but I got it done in the Coors, and then the more traditional Budweiser that most people are familiar with. There's a really cool tackle. Let me see. I don't know if you guys ever been to this website, um, uh, mybaitshop.com. So they primarily deal in old lures. They have a ton of old new stock. They do have a lot of collectibles. There are lures on there that they'll straight up tell you is for a collection. I've seen baits on there $200-$300. I think when I got notified of these, I think they were $19.99 a piece, and then they gave me a 10% off coupon, so not too bad. It's about average what they are, but it's a unique tackle shop. You want something old, they've got it. They can, and then they even have some of the old baits, and I don't know any off the top of my head, but like old baits that were good that got copied by other companies. They'll even tell you, "Oh, this is an imitation," and they'll sell it at a discount price. But definitely worth checking out if you're into some of the old school cranks. They sell all the big ones, head and striking, so on and so forth. They do also have new baits on there. Um, yeah, it was a fair price. They weren't gouging it. It was a market value price on that. Um, so wasn't mad about that at all. Uh, I, I've been wanting one. Depths makes one. Well, they make a jointed one that I kept looking at, but I was like, man, it's $30. And then Raid makes another version. I think they call it the Killer D. Every time I see it, because of the way they put the eyes on it, reminds me of, if any of you guys are old enough to remember Mario, the big bullets. It looks just like that, because it does not have a. It just you have to look it up. But anyways, um, I wanted it. I got them. I bought all 3 that they had in stock at the time. The other one I have is another Budweiser. It's used. It's got some hook rash and stuff on it. So that's going to be the one I'm going to throw, and then I'm going to save those and collect them, put my kids through college. Who knows? But one thing I want to make sure I'm not getting off at the moment. If you guys want to continue, but I want to make sure I talk about this. So part of the whole joining the YouTube, Instagram lives and making videos is it was something my son wanted to do. He's like, "Oh, it'll be fun." I think in his head, we're gonna become these YouTube stars and whatever. But if you're a dad and your child wants to do something with you and you can make it happen, you do it with them, because those days get fewer and far between the older they get. Well, with that in mind, my son said, "Well, if you're going to be successful, you got to do giveaways." I was like, "Okay, well, if we get 1,000 people, we'll do a giveaway." He's like, "No, no, no, no. You got to do one at 100." And so I am doing a giveaway. No problem, Tyler. I'm glad you like it. So for my first giveaway, when I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to give away a Rat Benny. So just want to put it out there. That's you missed it the other night, Tyler, but thank you. I did a discount tackle order. I made sure to use your link and help you out there, brother. If you're into Zoom baits, what was the company you said earlier, Tyler? I can't remember, but there's another one called Dances Sporting Goods. They have a lot of Zoom. Um, no problem, Tyler. I mean, most of these baits and most of my success in the last year of fishing is from everybody on YouTube. Um, my mini max and getting the right trailers is because of you, Tyler. Getting into some of the JDM baits, that's Matthew. Adam getting me on different scroungers, or he seems really knowledgeable about different types of trailers and things. Um, Gramps, Debo, all my success of fishing in the last year or so has been this because of all of you guys out there in the YouTube world and in the group chat, giving me ideas, answering my questions. Um, so no problem. I don't mind giving the love back, and I guess telling fishing secrets as I figure them out, but I don't know that many. That's why I borrow all your guys's knowledge. Anyways, yeah, Kara, everybody's awesome. So I don't want to trying to think how to not be a Debbie Downer, but quickly say this. So a lot of you don't know. This is kind of a little bit personal. I was born with a heart problem. I've had a total of five different surgeries, two of them being massive open heart surgeries. I have a pacemaker. My heart don't work right. And a couple years ago, I got notified that I have to have some pretty extensive stuff in the upcoming future. But anyways, my point is I became super depressed. I was missing out on time with my family, all that good stuff. And it was the YouTube fishing channels that pulled me out of that darkness. And, they were Debo, Tyler. I met Tyler because of Debo. He did a live with him one night. Grams, so on. So you guys know the list. I don't need to go through it. Um, but it's what got me fishing's what got me through that dark time, and it's afforded me to meet all of you guys, even though it's through online. Um, yeah, fishing and YouTube fishing community is awesome. And that's all I'm gonna say about that because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. Uh, thanks, Tim. Appreciate the sub. I appreciate everybody subbing tonight. Virginia Guide Bait Company also has a lot of hard to find Zoom callers. I put their info in the comments above. Sweet Tom. Yeah, I love Zoom. The only plastic I may like as much as Zoom or more is Z-Man, and that's just because of how long they last. Um, I'm pretty rough on baits down here. I guess there is no very there is no clear water down here where there's always sticks or rocks or something. So things are pretty tore up down here. I mean, I went fishing for 3 hours the other day. I was running the 7-inch Gambler burner worms. I went through a whole pack, just getting them hung up on the grass, the sticks, pulling them. But I got a couple decent bass. A couple, I think one was probably 2 pounds, maybe a 2.5 pound, and then a real dinky one. Um, yeah, for sure, Daniel. I know we don't even on these lives we don't always stick to fishing, but it's one of the most. I'm involved in a lot of different things in my personal life, and the fishing community is probably one of the most accepting communities I've been in. You don't see the drama in their group chats, their Facebook pages. It's not like any other group I've been a part of. Everybody just wants to have a good time and talk about fishing and nerd out over tackle and all that. And if I that's why I promote the YouTube guys, You want to learn to fish, go talk to Grams. Oh, you want to learn how to frog fish, go watch Debo. Oh, you're a night owl and you just want to have a good time, uh, go to Tyler's channel, and so on and so forth. I mean, this is one of the highlights of my weeks or days, is coming home to the lives and hanging out with you guys. It's like being around all my friends, you know. It's like what's that the old TV show Cheers. Like every time Frank comes into a group, everybody's like Frank. But anyways, uh yeah, and being invited into our Instagram group was definitely I don't know if that was good or bad. No, it's a lot of fun in there and a lot of knowledge between all the anglers in there. Um, where everybody knows your name. That's right, Tim. Everybody knows Frank. But and you guys have made me a better angler. Uh, following your tips, just trying different things. Uh, and I'm excited. I'm excited this year to get the kayak out on the water. Excited to continue doing the fishing tournaments. I don't know if any of you guys know, I've been doing uh, the Gramps, or excuse me, well, Gramps promotes it, but the KBF Catch 22. It's for a great cause. It's their fish ops. It's fish ops Catch 22. You can look at it on the Chaos Fishing app, but the money goes towards veterans and programs for veterans. I've been really enjoying that. Uh, I haven't looked today, but last I looked for Catch 22, I'm fourth in the nation, and then for the Catch 22, just for bass, I think I'm 12th or 14th or something like that in the state of Florida. Here's on the water this year. Thank you, Kara. That's who the money's going to. It's fun. I highly recommend to everybody, if you can, grab you a catch board, the yellow boards, go the Fishing Chaos app, download it, and have a good time. It adds an extra element of fun for me for the fishing. Now that I have a kayak, I may get into a couple bigger tournaments. It's one of the benefits of living in Florida. There's always some type of fishing tournament going on. They so yeah, check that out. And in March, if you guys aren't aware, the Gramps and Chad Hoover, the Fluke Master, I can't remember the other YouTubers involved. They're doing with KBF. They're doing, it's called the Knuckleheads tournament, and it's really unique. I've already signed up for it. So you pick which YouTuber's team you want to be on. So like I picked Gramps team. I believe the cost is $15. I think that's what the registration cost was. But anyways, um, and then the YouTuber, your team is assigned a month. So like Gramps' month is April. So we fish for the entire month of April, submitting our catches, and then at the end, every YouTuber, I'm assuming it's going to be the top four in their group, uh, has the opportunity to go fish a tournament against the other YouTube teams with like Gramps. If I were to win, Gramps would be the team captain. And then we would go fish somewhere, and I believe it's for a $10,000 pot. And I can't remember the organization, the veteran organization that Gramps putting the money towards, or that the knucklehead tournament's going towards. But yeah, I mean, it's uh Burley and a few others. Thanks, Caro. The 12-foot field and stream talent. Tim, if it works, it works. Um, but it's minimal cost if you have it. I never try to assume how much anybody's finances. Two, it gives me the possibility of meeting some of my heroes, if you want to say that, or at least in the YouTube world. Um, and it's a great cause, and it's fun, and it's fun to watch yourself climb up the the ranking ladders, then it upsets you because the guy sandbagged everything and dumped all of his weights at the last minute. So then you got to play catch up. But anyways, highly recommend getting involved in those, the chaos tournaments. Anything that Chad Hoover, Gramps, and all them are doing is usually for a good cause. So, um, and now that I have the kayak, I may this year get into a couple bigger ones. We'll see. But wow, an hour and a half. I feel like Tyler. I'm a superstar with all 6 of you tagging along. I appreciate it. But anything else or any other baits or anything I can try to remember? We got an Omni box that we're going to be opening soon, along with a tackle warehouse. But I definitely need to do sometime do my ultralight thing. Dollar, I appreciate it. I seen the kayak under a lady's deck that I ran and AC service call sold to me for 60 bucks. Tim, 60 bucks and you can get on the water and have a good time. You can't complain about that. I mean, I started out with the Walmart Sun Dolphin. Um, I really enjoyed it. But the big thing for me was I didn't like the chair in it, the back support, because just the molded plastic. Started saving my pennies and finally talked my wife into let me get one. Oh yes, so Daniel is right. Omni's running a huge special on um, rods and reels. So if you're an Omnia premium owner, and Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, you get 10% back on everything you spend, just like American Legacy. However, they're running a special that any rod and reel purchase right now, it's 20% in back and store credit. So they're doubling it for their premium members. But on top of that, if you use Hellabass's code, you can stack the savings on top of it. So if you need a rod and reel, definitely check them out. $45,000 bass boat and a $60 kayak winning. Yeah, Tim, I have a 20-foot bass boat sitting outside. I love it, but it's a little bit of a chore to get going. I have it rigged up with a Minn Kota spot lock, everything that you can want on it. Nothing wrong with it. I enjoy going out in the waters, but kayak is just quick. Throw it on a trailer, go. Throw it in the water, go, and be done with it. And I don't have to pay for gas, which is crazy down here right now. But yeah, definitely check out the Omni sale. Keep your eye out on Discount Tackle. I'm always finding um, deals at Discount Tackle, or I watch Tyler's stream and then I have to buy everything that he shows. And quick note, at least for Discount Tackle and Tackle Warehouse, I want to preference. I never served in the military. Like I said, I was born with medical condition, was not eligible. My wife, however, is a veteran, and because of her veteran status, she was able to get a military discount from Discount Tackle and Tackle Warehouse. The cool thing is it's attached to your account. So anytime I'm on Tackle Warehouse and I log in, or Discount Tackle, and I'm in, it automatically, when I look at the prices it's 10% off. So any of you veterans out there definitely need to utilize that. So you got that right, Adam. I've run a bunch of junk boats before I worked my way up to the rig I am now. That's one thing I like about my tracker. It has a 13-gallon tank. Can make it 3 to 4 fishing trips. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and see down here, and well, it's no different, but we have a lot of moisture in the air. So you have to run ethanol-free fuel, and you can't let anything sit. Or you'll have water in your lines in a heartbeat. That is our biggest enemy down here, I believe, is water. That's why you very rarely see a cabin in Florida. The maintenance on it's insane. They have to treat them every year. But yeah, so Discount Tackle and Tackle Warehouse both offer military discounts, and that's helps a lot, especially if you have an addiction like mine. So if you were a vet, definitely take utilize that. You guys earned it. My wife earned it. I'm just lucky to benefit. And the funny thing is, when we were setting up the Discount Tackle veteran thing, um, can I link in here when I'm not a moderator? Oh, how do I make you a moderator? We're gonna learn something together here. Pop out participants. How do I make you? Man, 89, let's see. I saw it earlier. Community moderation. All right. I think you guys can still see. Paste the channel URL of a user to. Oh, I'll have to do that later. I'll have to get your URL, Daniel, and make you a moderator in here. Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna have to get better at that. And Tyler, next time, I apologize. I'll be more ready to be able to share your Discount Tackle link. But I'm trying to think of a couple other tackle shops that aren't well known that I buy from. So there's that. Discount Tackle, Omnia. Oh, Academy Sports. So the cool thing about Academy Sports, I don't know if you guys know this. First of all, their prices are usually right on par with everybody else, or maybe a little bit cheaper. But if you, they usually have a minimum $25 order, and it's free shipping, $25. So I know they're a big commercial store, but you only need a little bit of tackle. They're a good one to do. They have a good one. Sportsman's Outfitter is a good one. You can usually get sales through them. Bait Finesse Empire, if you're into the BFS stuff or ultralight. The cool thing about them, they do run some promotion codes from here and there, but they have a reward system. So just like anybody else, and you don't have to pay for it. You just earn cash back on every purchase. Uh, so and then Barlow's Tackle. I don't know if you guys know them. They're an online retailer. They're mostly a fly website to buy skirt material, fly tying supplies. They do carry a little bit of tackle, carry a ton of hooks, do it molds, all that type of stuff. But they also have a rewards program that is free. They used to call me Captain Morgan because that's the stance I would always in a trolling motor. No need to even sit on the console. That's funny. All right. Before I go, I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. At least funny to me. So I was born and raised in Indiana. Lived there all my life. Indiana, we only have a couple big reservoirs, so a lot of people didn't own boats. There was a lot of John boats, kayaks, canoes. Well, canoes back then. Kayaks weren't that popular. So we moved down to Florida. My parents moved, and then I followed behind about a few months later. But anyways, so me and my dad decide we're going to go buy a boat. We know nothing about the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to go saltwater fishing. We know nothing about anything. And we go buy this old Sea Ray boat. I mean, it was it was old. Well, anyways, we buy it from this guy who he was like a dealer. It was a weird thing. Like he sold the boats, and the money that they raised like went to a foundation or something. It's kind of like Habitat for Humana deal. Anyways, so we buy this boat. Don't know nothing about it. Well, the guy tells us, he goes, before you take it out, just remember it's been dry docked. I had no idea what dry dock meant at the time. Anyways, so we rush over to the boat ramp because at the house that we had at the time was on a channel that led out to the Gulf, but you could go from the boat ramp to our house, and we had a dock. Um, so my dad backs in, I jump in the boat, and doesn't even wait for me to get started. Just truck and trailer gone. He's heading to the house. I'm going to drive this boat to the house. Two things. Could not get it to start to find out the battery was bad. Second thing, the reason the gentleman told me that it was dry docked was his way of saying there is no plug in this boat. So, long story short, I'm sitting in the middle of this boat ramp. I got everybody pissed off. They're all laughing at me, trying to get around me. My boat's sinking. I uh I got water up to my ankles already. I'm trying to call my dad, like, hey, you need to get over here. I need the trailer, the whole 9 yards. And then here's this old timer because the boat ramp we were at is where they launched the shrimp boats out at night. So those guys are coming through the channel. I mean, I blocked everything up. This guy's just laughing at me, and he had a trolling motor, so it was enough power to get the bilge pump to work. And then, yeah, and then I was able to get my dad back there and get it out. Anyways, bunch of Hoosiers down there, not knowing what we're doing, almost sank our boat the first 10 minutes out. So I won quite a few tournaments like that with my big motor broke down. I was dedicated to the max back then. Yeah, Tim, I feel you. I'm always when I'm fishing with my friends, I'm always the last one to go. I am the worst. Oh, last cast. Uh yeah, Caro, that was our first experience in a boat like that. But anyways, yeah, I like to go hard when I fish. Even if it's from the bank, I'm always going. I never quit. Um I may change my location if there's an alligator nearby, but yeah, Caro, definitely almost sunk a boat. Had no idea what we were doing. I had no idea that there was rules about putting a boat in the Gulf of Mexico, and there's safety rules and all that. We were tourists. That's exactly what we were at that time. But now we're good. So, but so let me see if I missed anything else. I would pay my entry and put it in the water in the morning, knowing it wasn't going to crank. That's funny. That is funny, Tim. That Ah, that is dedication. That's more dedicated than me to launch your boat, pay the fee, knowing it's not gonna crank, and that you are solely dependent upon a trolling motor. Hats off to you, Mr. Tim. That's great. I'm not quite as hardcore as I used to be, but I still bring it in when I'm on the water best I can anyways. Yeah, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong to kinda go off on a tangent here, but do you think professional anglers still have the joy of fishing? 'Cau now that I'm talking like that's all they do. They're the KVDs and stuff like that. Or do you think fishing loses the fun that we all enjoy because now it's a job? Like they have to put fish in the boat. They have to do YouTube channels and interviews and go to ICAST, so on and so forth. That'd be an interesting question for a pro. Like a pro that's been doing it for a while. I'm not talking like a newcomer, but has fishing lost the magic for them and just became a job? Huh, I'm not quite as hardcore. Yeah, I got that. Let's see, my tracker's as a 13-gallon tank, and I can make it fishing. Let's see, you got the right. Shoot the big rig. I want a little John boat, but hubby says no, so I make my kids drag my yak for me. Kara, that's funny. You want a John boat, or you want any kind of boat, come to Florida. They're dime a dozen. Our Facebook marketplace, it's boat, kayak, boat, kayak, boat, kayak. It's where I would go if I was going to make a big boat purchase. Probably both, but I'm sure it's more of a grind for most. Yeah, probably. Probably some of them, Adam, especially since, as you said, YouTube, etc., they're almost not relevant unless they have extra exposure. That's right, Caro. I would agree. And with the exception of maybe, and I'm not a big sports guy, but maybe like Major League Football and baseball, if other sports to be relevant, I believe you have to have some type of online presence. I mean, if you don't have the powers of Nike behind you or something like that, who sees you? I mean, and let's be honest, fishing in itself is a niche market. There's probably more. If somebody did a study, there's probably more football fans than fishermen in the United States. I don't know. I mean, that's what I would think, but I don't know. It'd be an interesting if anybody ever gets a probe on their channel to ask that question. Probably. Let's see. There's some of them that eat, sleep, and live fishing. Keith Posh's one of them. Yeah, but the question is, are they eat, sleeping, fishing because it's passion for them and they just enjoy it and it's their motivation to get up every morning, or is it because that's their job and that's what they have to do? You know, pros like Brian Latimer are savvy with multiple income streams like YouTube and his online shop, and now his new small version of Bass U. He start, yeah. So funny thing, speaking of Brian, he's going to be in my town. I saw the advertisement. It's this there's this restaurant in Brooksville called the Florida Cracker. And I was like, the Florida Cracker? Yeah, he's gonna be 20 minutes from me and doing like the little miniature Bass U. I don't remember how much it cost or when it was, but I found it. I couldn't believe of all the places, Brooksville. B-Lad is freaking awesome. Yeah, I watch a lot of his videos. He's more of a finesse guy, more my style. Gotten a lot of information from him. My first real bass boat was a 1585 Edibide Stearns on Bugs Island and Lake Gaston in that thing. 4 or 5 foot row. Yeah, no. You're braver than I am, Tim. I remember the first time me going out in the Gulf, which we went with somebody. So in the Gulf, the first mile or two, it's shallow. Like you can walk. It's knee deep. It's insane because you think of the Gulf of Mexico, it's this huge body of water and it's shallow as shallow can be. You got to go 20, 30 miles out to hit the deep waters. I remember the first time I didn't get sick, but just that massive walk in the back or the rocking and rolling, nope, was not me. And ever since then, I was like, saltwater life is not me. No salt life shirts for me. My first, his motivation is fishing. Talk about sketchy. Yeah, for sure, Tim. I mean, we have Coast Guard life-saving happen all the time. People go out. It's usually small boats or unexperienced people. They'll roll. Happens a little bit more on the other coast, bigger waves. Adam, have you seen or got the Evergreen International Gizmo floating jig? Yes, I had it here. I did buy them, and I was disappointed with them. Now I bought two. I've only utilized one, but when I would cast it and it hit the water, it would roll, flip upside down. No matter what I did, I could not. Every other cast, it was flipping upside down. So and I never opened up the other one to know if I just got a bad one. I don't know, but as of now, it is not my go-to. Um, I'd be scared too, Tim. I just seen it and looked like, oh yeah, you're right, Daniel. As soon as I saw it, it went straight in the cart. But for whatever reason, I can't get it to go right side up. So I I'm gonna have to play with it or open up the other one and just see if I got a bad one or if it's a lot of my problems is the angler using the items. So, but I can't believe we're moving on an hour and 45 minutes and we've stayed steady at 6 to 8 people. That is insane. I appreciate all the love. I always keep a straight face for any of my buddies that were with me. But inside I was panicking. I've been there, not on a boat, but sometimes you gotta set the mood. You stay calm, they'll stay calm. I've been in my fair share of sketchy fishing situations too. Little boats, big waves. That's why they call me. That's why they call them curlies. Yeah. Um, trying to think. I haven't had too many issues down here. Um, I'd say the sketchiest fishing issues I've had lately is just the homeless. Uh, they don't really give me too much of a problem, but they're like ninjas. You'd be on a body of water in the middle of nowhere, and then you just come like walking out of the tree line and scares the crap out of you. Um, I would say the one time that I was fishing, I was at Lake Okeechobee last summer, and I was fishing at night at the one of the boat ramps, and this is when I learned another important thing. I was casting out my lure, and every time I casted the spot, it would just kept getting hit, but whatever it was would not take it, and I was getting mad. I kept throwing. I was like, "What is hitting it?" Because I knew it was big enough that it could take the bait, but it wasn't. He would hit it and then let it go. Well, then finally, whatever was hitting it got tired of me throwing a bait at it, and then he turned around and looked at me, and that was the night I learned that alligators' eyes are red in the dark. Um, I was casting to an alligator that was 6 feet from me, and I mean, I'm assuming he was smaller, but he could have easily made it up that ramp. So that freaked me out a little bit. Once I realized what was going on. Let's see, terrified. I'd be chummy. Nickname Seasick Queen. No telling how many times I'd say to my partner, "Oh, she'll handle it. We'll be fine." Yeah, Tim gonna be like them guys that are getting rescued, and we see on the local news down here. Um, it happens a lot down here. We have a Coast Guard auxiliary post, and that they fly two main aircraft out of there. The rescue helicopters, which seems like they're out a lot. Maybe they're just doing maneuvers, but that's a lot of maneuvers practicing. And then they fly one of the hurricane airplanes, that they fly through the hurricane out of there. So I see that quite often there. Those kind of situations are character builders, aren't they? That's right, Tim. They are character builders. Or, I don't know if it's for good character or not, but it does build some type of character. I think probably just reassures us that we can do stupid things and get away with it. I mean, I was probably the last generation to grow up that you could do stupid things and yeah, the things that you think of as a kid to do. None of us should probably be here. But um nickname Seasick Queen. Kara doesn't like to go out on the boats. Didn't you just tell me like today or yesterday you're getting ready to go on a cruise though? I was a lifeguard as a teenager, so I was probably a little overconfident. Yeah, I can see that, Tim. I mean, I'm not a beach person. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up in Florida. but I've seen the undertow, the riptide, all that, how quickly it, even strong swimmers, it just, and they're gone. Um, but yeah, I'm just thinking, I just thought of something that I did. But with that, I really do appreciate all of you guys for being here tonight. I never expected to last for an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't expect to get more than 2 or 3 people. I thought it'd just be a couple people from the group chat to stop in and say, "Hey, I can handle big boats, big ones, and bass boats, if not choppy. Anything else? Nope. Deep sea fishing? Oh heck no." Good. Kara, you go on the cruise with my wife so I don't have to go. I have no desire to go on a cruise. I had a friend like Tim. My reply most of the time was never screw. Tom, I think all of us grew up with a friend like that, or we were the friend. Dude, the ocean is absolutely no joke. It'll humble anybody. I don't care who you are. Oh yeah, Tim. Once we would get out in our, once we learned how not to sink a boat, we would go out in the Gulf. Uh, we learned very quickly. I mean, just simply getting just far enough out. If you didn't have a fish finder or GPS or anything, the moment you lose just barely the sight of the coast, you don't know which direction's what without any type of instruments, and you see people out there all the time just doing dumb stuff. Um, I get queasy on my yak. You need to get some of that Dramamine or whatever. We have to give that to my daughter when we go to the mountains and all the curvy roads. But yeah, it is. The waterways down here are crazy. Like I said, I don't mess with the Gulf too much. We have a lot of spring-fed rivers down here, and between the kayakers, the tourists, they're bottlenecked. Like they parts of our rivers they've gotten to now where they will only allow so many boats to launch in a day, and people line up an hour before the kayak launch opens. Um, so that's a thing that we have to deal with down here. And then we have manatees up in our springs a lot, and they're constantly on top of boaters because they'll come flying down there in a no wake zone, and just those props just chew them up. It's a pretty big deal now if somebody gets caught doing that. Yeah, if I ever hand you, we'll be all right. You could rest assured it was a full. Yep, I drive or sleep as a passenger, no backseat ever. So, of course, I love cruise ships. I don't have to notice there's no horizon, and it feels solid. I don't know. Let me know how it goes, Caro. My wife wants to do, as I mentioned, she wants to go on a cruise and take her 3 children, who their ages are 7, 9, and 13, and I just don't see them having fun. Maybe I'm wrong. I have nothing to base that on except for what my opinion of a cruise is. I can laugh about memories everyone's comments bring back. I just suck at storytelling. Can't be any worse than me, Tom. All I did was click a button, and now I've been talking to people for almost 2 hours. So that's proof right there. Anybody can talk, and then somebody will listen to them. Yes, Tim, the '90s were awesome. Um, I miss growing up, being born in the '80s and growing up in the '90s. I feel bad for my kids. I've been on 14 cruises. I've been on 0. Wait, I take it back. I went on 1 cruise out in the Gulf, just far enough out into international waters so we could gamble tax-free on the casino boat. Just share, Tom, it's awesome. I was out on the ocean in a little boat in the Philippines with Sketch. It was basically a canoe with sidearms with, like, a 5-horse Briggs motor. '80s. Tim, I'm sure we would have been good fishing partner. I felt that's not a cruise. It may not be a cruise, but it had alcohol and gambling, so I had fun. And I didn't have to pay taxes on my winnings. Those are all over the coast down here. Daniel, fishing. Were you in the military, Daniel, or something? Philippines, this isn't a traditional vacation spot. I'm only 39, but I feel so much older sometimes considering how much things have changed since I was a teenager. Seems like a century. Tim, I just turned 40 like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And, I try to explain to my kids, I'm the last we're the last generation that, we started with no internet and no thing. And AOL, when it became a thing, it was dial up and, you get the story, but they don't believe it at all. Was hand lining for Barracuda. That's interesting. Absolutely, Tom. Tom, we're the elders. It was a vacation. My best friend's wife is from there and went on a trip. Okay, that makes sense. I'll give you that. I know down south we have peacock bass, but I'd probably travel outside the US if I had the opportunity to have a very good opportunity or chance or likelihood of catching a peacock bass. That I would probably leave the good old USA. Either that or go to Canada to mess with Frank. But yes, ma'am, we are Carol. See, yeah, the 90s is crazy. I'm trying to think yeah. Anyways, when I was in high school, me and all my buddies had high-powered CB radios in our truck. That was our cell phone. Yep. Uh, we had CBs. I was the last graduating class that we still had the gun racks in our. I grew up in a very rural area in Indiana, but gun racks in the car. You had the pocket knives were still allowed in school. We had everything. We just had a plastic spool of line and would throw it behind the bow. That's interesting, Daniel. Oh, that made me think, Daniel. Thanks, Kara. I had mentioned last night about, and I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Tenkara fishing, tentra fishing. I told you to look it up. I doubt you did. So, what it is they think of fly fishing and a bamboo pole. That's what it is. And it's something I would ever attempt to do. It's an Asian Japanese thing, I believe, is where it originated from. I could be wrong on that. But it's really unique because they have like, if you watch them set up, they'll have like 5 or 6 of these zipper pouches, and they build their pole. No, and I'm assuming they're different. These things got like 5 or 6 sections. There's no eyes. There's no reel. Um, and just has the line on the end, and uh, they put an exact amount of line where they're fishing and like a little fly, and that's what it is. If you ever get bored, look it up on YouTube. It's unique and it's almost calming the way they watch it or the way they do it, because it's not like fly fishing what we think of. So log rod, no reel. Log rod, no reel. If you wanted to know what was going on Friday night, you had to go out riding around. Yep, been there, Tim. I don't know if any of you guys were sit at the local parking lots, whether it be a gas station, supermarket, whatever. That was the hangout place. Yes, I screenshot it and forgot to look it up. Yeah, look it up. I stumbled upon it. It was a Facebook video that the autoplayed, and I ended up watching. It was like a 20-minute video, and I mean, just 90% of the video was this guy just setting this all up. He had a fancy little holder for his net, And then the cool thing was he made like a dough type bait. I would call it dough ball, but like he had all these powders that he was mixing, and then was adding water to it, and he made his own bait. It was really interesting to watch. Oh yeah, I was there, looking it up now. I dropped a pic in the group chat. What we used. Cool, Daniel. I'll check it out here in a little bit. Um, so, all right. Well, we've been at almost 2 hours. I'm having a good time, so I'll definitely stay on for a couple more minutes. Any ideas? I want to get better. I want you guys to enjoy this. Uh, what are some topics? I mean, I can do just unboxings, or I mean, what's some things that every YouTube seems to have their niche. What do you guys want to see me do? Or just come on here and talk? Because I like listening to myself talk, I guess. Yeah, it's unique, Caro. It's almost like Zen fishing. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on, and it's Zen fishing. That's it. Oh, yeah, keyboard words Zen you can't really go wrong talking about anything fishing. True, Daniel. And Tim, you're right. Um, People minded their own business back then, and like you said, if you had beef, you dealt with it, and you moved on, and that was it. And the beef didn't build into hatred that built into something catastrophic, whether it be what we see today, people acting out violently or, whatever. But everybody just needs to go fishing. Fishing's so relaxing. That's why I find it as a blessing almost to be able to take scouts and other youth and adults and teach them to fish. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that great of an angler, but if I can teach them how to tie a Palomar knot and put a wacky worm on, I give them the opportunity to possibly catch something. Napa Auto Parts. Ours was a Marsh supermarket. It was a northern chain. We're doing the same in cruising. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. Just talk about fishing. Probably gonna be I upcoming is gonna definitely be a lot of kayak talking. I think the guy was really surprised today when I went to the shop. I started talking about Chad Hoover. We were talking about kayak bass fishing. I get it. He's a salesman. He's the Jermaine of kayaks, and he wasn't a pressure salesman. Great shop. I'm going to give him a shout out. But he was like, "Hey, do you need this accessory? What about this? What about?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I don't need anything because I don't know how I want my boat set up yet." Um, So maybe I'll let you guys go along that journey if anybody's interested as I buy accessories, why I chose the way I chose it. Um, because I'm learning that kayaks are like Jeeps. There's a billion people that make a billion parts for them, and they're all different. Kroger parking lot. Yep, we did the Kroger. Actually, fun fact, we just got Kroger down here in Florida. Right now, it's only a delivery service, but they bought out a big local chain down here. Hubby's friends, and he got the curfew established here. Yeah, my dad's generation got a few. Used to be at our high school, which is the same school my dad went to. You could leave campus to go eat lunch. Um, uh, my dad's class got that changed. I hate to leave, but I better try to sleep. So I plan to be fishing tomorrow. No worries, Daniel. We're just don't feel bad. Go get some sleep. Good luck on the water tomorrow. And this I won't say out loud, but I have yet to find that particular lure in stock, Daniel, that you shared with me months and months ago. I continuously look for it, and it's still out of stock. One day I will get one and try it out. So, speaking of unique lures or special lures, what do you guys think of this? I bought this and have never used it. Has anybody ever used this thing? It says pop it, spit it, stop it, or walk it, all four at this. It says you can do all four of those at the same time. It's made by Thunderhawk, which I know is in Caro's backyard. Walk the dog, bait market. I don't know. Bingo time. Yes, Daniel, the one I fed to the turtle. I can't believe a turtle hit a crankbait. That was, or a bait, but yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That made me so mad. A mile from our scout hut. So I don't even know why I ordered this thing. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I've never looked up a YouTube video to see. So definitely, it's definitely going to pop. I don't have any doubt about that. But then you got this little tail. I believe it comes with a extra tail. The Papa Walker. It got decent action. But Daniel, has it ever caught fish? Got a little bit of a knock in it. So, oh, interesting. This is the first time I've ever actually looked at it. The tail screws on. Normally it's like a toothpick or something like that. I've honestly never seen those. I'm kind of digging it though. So, yeah, and like I said, it comes with an extra tail, and I believe it's under $20. In several different colors, and I don't know. I'll eventually tie it on. I really don't do walk the dog stuff. I'll probably just pop it, see what happens. I've honestly never seen those. I'm kind of digging it though. I've had more luck on a head and spook. Yeah, see, that's one of the. So I'm ashamed to admit. Well, maybe not ashamed, but I will admit I cannot walk the dog, pitch, or flip. So eventually, I won mine from Devo. I wish I could do pride testing for them. Just start buying Caro. I would assume just buy exclusively their lures, use nothing but their stuff, video everything, all your catches, and just keep tagging them and tagging them and tagging them, and then eventually you can be a part of their team. Excuse me. I don't know. For me, unique is a virtue when it comes to baits. Yeah, I would say so. I especially in the JDM market, the things that Matt has introduced me to, and then I'm starting to understand and learn a little bit, and making a couple purchases on my own. Um, uh, I like unique baits. And I think when you live somewhere like I do in Florida, not in my area, but in general, Florida is a fishing destination. You know, a lot of people want to come down here and fish, whether it be Gulf or freshwater. Um, so they do see a lot of the same stuff, the chatterbaits, the you know spooks, whatever. And I think throwing something unique at them that they never seen before does help. I don't know. Uh, Maybe I'm just attracted to unique, weird baits, and that's I'm successful just because that's all I throw. I'm trying to think if there's any other crazy old baits. Um, where is that one? Don't think. Here's a. This is another one of Thunderhawk's baits. I haven't caught a fish on this, but I've had a lot of followers. I believe this is their water vole, VOLE, that they sell. It does, is rod tip down, line laying on the water, and just work the line between your rod tip and where your line meets. Good night, Daniel. And by the way, nope, I sound like an asthmatic old man. No videos from me. But so this is another cool rat bait, wake bait. I bought this when I couldn't get the Spros, and it fishes pretty well. They make oh, not Thunderhawk. I apologize. I had Thunderhawk on the mind. This is made by Clay 8 Baits. Um, Clay 8 Bait. I think this is their gray color. So I never had any issues with it. For the price, for what you get, the paint jobs are pretty good. This is probably the most disappointing color. They call this green pumpkin. It just looks like brown with a bunch of weird white, yellow stripes in it. Uh, yeah, Kara, Brendan would be proud of me. But it fishes. I've had a bunch of followers on it. And I believe, I think these are only like $19.99. And they do make a couple small. I got one of their, I think it's called a clacker, but they do make a small swim bait too. And like I said, if any of you guys are interested, and the cool thing is, all our baits are available on Tackle Warehouse. So if you're already putting an order in, you got a couple extra bucks that you need to spend to get to 50. They're right there. I do know that they make some handmade wood baits. I think they have one that they call the Baby Possum, but it's like $140. But I believe it is wood and handmade. So, but yeah, it was a unique bait. I think Brendan or Matthew is the one that suggested that. When I first got into the Japanese baits years ago, the greatest appeal to me was the most people weren't throwing it. Yeah, Tim. So, Tim, if you don't mind me asking, what is your favorite JDM bait or style of bait? Is it their plastics? Is there a hard bait that you just absolutely love that you're willing to share so I can go buy it? I mean, share with the group. Rub that down with a Scotch-Brite pad and knock that shine down. Probably need to do that, Tom. I was just watching. Did anybody catch? Hellabass did a video with Epic Eric, and I think it was like 50 fishing tips. It was I've watched it like 3 or 4 times and keep learning something new. But that was one of his things, Tom. And I think what he did, he had like the polishing the polishing pad thing that you use for your nails. And he said he would keep that on him and scuff up his baits and take the shine off of them. Yeah, Kara, I didn't get to catch it live, but I've been watching the replay, and just some of the little tips is just things I would never have thought about. 50 fishing hacks. Yep. It was a great video. But those are the types of videos I like. I like unboxings and stuff. Personally, the actual watching somebody fish doesn't appeal to me unless they're teaching a technique and they're, spoon feeding me how to do it. Kind of like the way Gramps teaches. I got my start cutting my teeth on some of the baits from the way he taught, and he was actually a great inspiration to me for the way I teach my Cub Scouts fishing, about patience, which you already have to have, but also one of the biggest things I took from him was if you're teaching a kid to fish, don't take your own fishing pole. And that has brought me a lot of success with my own kids and my scouts. because now I am forced to be focused on them and not getting annoyed because I'm trying to fish and then they need my help. So yeah, but showed off quite a bit of baits. Definitely excited to see what this is all about. I second that. Why is it so hard for me personally to learn knots? Y'all in general go too fast. So knots, I pretty much only use one, maybe two knots. Palomar knot's my go-to knot. And Carol, you like this? I learned how to tie the Palomar knot in the back of issue of Boy's Life, way back many moons when it was Boy's Life. I think now it's Scout's Life. Palomar knot and then the improved clinch knot. Those two knots have gotten me through everything I need personally. But I can't. I utilize the apps on the phone more than a YouTube video. And if you get a good app, they'll slow it down. You can pause the video and see where everything is. And because it's an animation, they'll usually color code like the blue line is your tag line and the red is your working line or something to that effect. I find that that's a very good teaching tool when I'm trying to learn a knot. Um, it's just a different way than trying to watch somebody on a video do it. And it's not natural for certain movements, I believe, when you're tying a knot to do it, so a camera can see it. So they go like this, and you can't see all the movements. I second that. Why it's so hard for me personally to learn knots. Oh, well, that's a tough question. I got some favorites in every bait category, but I always been a cranker or hard bait guy more than anything. All right, Tim. I just learned the improved clinch for scouts. See, you learned something, and now you can teach that knot to other scouts, and then they can teach it to their kids or something as they get older. There's some killer JDM spinner baits out there too. Yeah, I almost bought a bait when I was doing my. Let me find what it was called. I dropped my phone like an hour ago. When I was placing my hookup order, uh, there was a spinner bait, and I was this close to buying it, Tim, but I'd already put enough in my cart, and so I called it quits. I should have done it now. I still throw a lot of discontinued Iowa, Lucky Craft, and Mega Bass jerk baits. Um, I am not aficionado with the jerk bait. I am working on it, but I am not there yet. Let me see if I can find this bait quickly, um, and I'll let you guys know what it is. It just looked interesting to me. Here it is. So it comes in three varieties. It's the Lucky Craft Areas, or at least that's how I pronounce it. It looks like they have two smaller versions, and then they have one that's what they call tuned, which they've just upgraded a couple of the components, and then they put a feather treble on it. I need to learn how to do the screen sharing, but yeah. Oh yeah, you can't even begin to see that. But anyways, it's Lucky Craft Areas spinner bait. I don't know. It caught my eye. It's a finesse spinner bait. It's a single wheel blade, um, but I did not pick it up this time. And it looks like the hookup tackle sale. Oh no! Highly suggest if you guys want to try JDM baits, go to as of now the hookup tackle sale is still going on. It's their pre-spawn sale. It's 15% off store wide. Now there are exclusions, Mega Bass, stuff like that. But some of their clearance items, which I bought one of a couple clearance baits, they're 30 to 45% off on their JDM baits. I got voluntold for teaching fishing at summer camp for a week, praying they lost my number. You'll be fine, Caro. Just get the merit badge book out. The hardest part for that merit badge is the knots, which you already got. I think that's a cinch knot, Palomar knot. I can't remember what the other. It might be the blood knot or uni to uni. But the knots and then the filleting and cooking of a fish. Those are the two hardest requirements on there. A lot of people don't realize that Megabass has produced over 120 some different jerk baits since UK started the company in this garage, and that's a lot. That's a bunch, Tim. Yeah, that is a lot of baits. I got a couple. I got a jerk bait. I got a Vision 110 and a popper in a limited edition collar that from American Legacy. I don't know why I bought it. I I think it was just the exclusivity of it, but I'll have to dig those out and show them off at some point. You throw a lot of cranks at them? Nope. I'm more of a uh, soft plastic top water type guy. Love the top water bite. I just recently caught my first frogfish, getting more confidence in that, learning to slow down my my hook set. Um, but I don't throw a lot of cranks. I mean, unless you consider like a wake bait, crankbait. Trying to think. The J Boy, which is a crankish thing. So, oh, the boys did fine. I don't want to do it again this year for the whole summer. An hour there, hour back. Why don't you just stay on property, Caro? That's what I'd do. And I don't want to miss my fishing time. Was in the car during morning bite, selfish in my order. No, you're not selfish, Caro. We volunteer a lot of time. We dedicate a lot of time to these youth. Any camp out that I'm at or event that I know there's a body of water, my gear is in my Jeep. I take care of my responsibilities first, then I hit the water. So, and you should utilize. So, a lot of scout properties aren't open to the public, and as you know, in the BSA, with the exception of the merit badge, but most BSA properties are catch and release only. So they're not heavily fished usually, and there's some big fish in there. If you can find a Boots frog for a decent price, get you one. That is an amazing frog for its size. Okay. I'm a Gatsu Buddha frog. Gonna have to remember that one. I'll have to go back and look. Because it was last week and the young man teaching it walked off with their equipment. Well, that's not good. We're pretty fortunate. We get a lot of donations. If you reach out to big companies like Zepco and stuff, um, they'll usually donate. Every year they donate 100 fishing combos to us. So it's just a little bait cat or not bait caster, spin cast rod reel like you get at Walmart, and it has a little tackle box with them. They send us 100 of them every year. So they didn't have anywhere for me to stay. Well, that's crazy. Oh, we're good now. I reported it to Game and Fish, and they restocked them for this year. Good. Good. Yeah, our properties down here for the scouts, they usually stock them with catfish, no bass. They're trying to control the vegetation growth. I don't know where catfish comes into that, but I know most of our waters down here that are stocked is either catfish or whatever little fish that supposedly eats mosquito larvae. Off to bed. Good night, Tyler. Uh, can't wait to watch your live tomorrow. Definitely be on there. But anyways, guys, we've been going for 2 hours, 20 minutes. I think I'm going to hit the sack as well. I had no expectation to be on this long, nor to have this many people come on. I really appreciate it. And remember, share it with your friends. We hit 100. I know it's not the coolest bait in the world, but it's something. We're giving away a free Rat Benny. Hopefully Frank doesn't win it, so I don't have to pay $1,000 to ship it to Canada. Thanks, Tyler. Arkansas has a program to teach fishing in the natural state. LOL. It's cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of fishing programs in Cairo. I think I told you about this. Within the BSA, you can become a certified fishing angler. I know they're getting ready to offer a class down here, but that in combination with, I think it's called the Passport to Fishing program. I'll have to look it up. But if you complete those two things, um, somehow it opens up a special discount to uh, tackle for you to purchase basically in bulk at really good discounted rates. The idea being that you put on a fishing program. Adam, that depths shad is a really unique, versatile fluke too. Okay, the 5-inch works just as well as a chatterbait trailer or just a weighted T-rigged fluke. All right, definitely check the depths out. Um, I I have a depths bait on the way. I don't want to tell yet. I'm going to show you guys when I get it, but I'm excited. It's probably the trying to think. There's 3 baits I'm excited for. I don't know which one I'm the most excited about. What to see. I guess I won't know which one I'm most excited about until I tie one on, and that'd be it. It's almost 2 a.m. here. Yes, gonna go to Memphis Chickasaw Council to take class. Cool, Carol. The kids will appreciate it. The Cast Prodigy swim baits are very nice also. They're fairly new, and I've just started to throw them, but I'm in love with those. So, funny thing is I have an entire swim bait rod. It's one of the Dobbins Furies. I think it's a 795. I have a Lew's Super Duty 300 on it, and I don't throw swim baits. I've got to go to phone is down to 10% night all. Good job, Adam. Thanks, Tom. Um, yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to stay on this long, but I like hanging out and talking, and it was a good time. I'm glad I caught your stream, Adam. This was awesome. Good, Tim. That's all I want. That's the whole point of this journey on YouTube is just to have a good time and chit chat. I'm not here to sell you guys anything or anything like that. Just show what I like or what I have, and to be honest, get free knowledge from you guys and use that. I'm glad y'all know, find some cool stuff. I go to Walmart. Yeah, so the funny thing is, I have probably more tackle shops. I mean, I have tackle shops down here like we have like Dollar Generals, but it's all saltwater. So I have to go on the interwebs usually, unless I want to drive to Bass Pro or Tackle 44, which is a few towns over. The Prodigy swim baits is a finesse bait. They make finesse. Now you're speaking my language. Um, who makes the cast Prodigy? Okay, I'll just be 100% sure that I got that. I'll eventually learn how to do all this stuff. Get rigged on an Okashira screw. So Tim, I actually tried the Okashira screwhead. I believe I paired it with Z-Man Minnows 3-inch, and the little beads or whatever that were supposed to hold the screw head seemed to pop out, and I could just never get to work properly. I was not impressed. Uh, but I know a lot of people love them. It just didn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I broke it. Who knows? I break a lot of stuff when I'm rigging, and I go through hooks like it's no other. Not that I lose them. I just bend them out all the time because so much grass, so many sticks, logs, but get rigged. So, anyways, thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate it. I think hopefully I'll get better. I'm going to take, maybe try to get a light behind me. I thought about covering up the Disney things, but I need to leave something for Frank to enjoy. So, but yeah, share the video. If you could give me a thumbs up, that helps. And we'll see you guys. Good night. The bait keepers are crap and the shear heads, but I modify mine with a tied beefier wire. Then that is something I'd like to see at some point. How you do that. Good night, Carol. Love old Disney. So, not that you guys care. My my baby sister hand painted all that. That's all painted on there. And she's a pretty good artist. But anyways, all right, good night. And I guess I won't go live tomorrow because of Tyler, but I've got that order coming from the hookup tackle I'm pretty excited about. So, all right, good night, everybody. Bye.